I didn't walk into disaster that night. I was escorted. On Tuesday, while I was trying to fix a leaky faucet via YouTube, my wife, Sabrina, waltzed in with her, "This is a choice, but actually not" tone. Clara's turning 35. "Next weekend," she said. "Huge dinner. We absolutely have to go." Clara, my sister-in-law, treats life like a showroom. Labels first, people second. Her husband, Martin, collects important contacts the way kids collect trading cards. Between the two of them, a conversation is either a brand mention or a resume. "Define really fancy," I asked. "Black tie optional," Sabrina said, as if that clarified anything. Translation: their friends would arrive looking like magazine covers. I'd be in the one good suit from our wedding, praying no one noticed the tired elbows. Still, I decided to bring a proper gift. Something thoughtful, not a last-minute card. I remembered Clara fawning over an antique silver bracelet at my aunt's last Christmas, marveling at the workmanship like it was a relic from a civilization that did everything better. I hunted down a similar one at a small shop downtown. It cost more than my pride wanted to admit, but it was beautiful. The owner tucked it into a velvet box that made the whole thing feel ceremonial. For the first time in my history with Clara, I felt prepared. Saturday arrived and turned our bedroom into a textile tornado. Sabrina tried on half the closet. I offered the standard, "You look amazing," from a safe distance. By late afternoon, we were ready. She looked like she belonged in their world. I looked like I was pretending competently. Clara texted us a string of sparkles and, "It's going to be magical." As we pulled into their driveway, I understood. The kind of magic you have to rent. The lawn looked curated by a landscape sommelier. The entry smelled like money, polished wood, flowers with Latin names, and confidence. Clara opened the door in something flowing and expensive, her hair a structural achievement. She shrieked, "Sabrina!" and air-kissed like we'd been separated by continents, then turned to me with a quick hug that felt like a handshake in disguise. "Thanks for coming," she said, the way people thank delivery drivers. Inside, a pianist in a tux filled the air with tasteful arpeggios. Waiters drifted by with flutes of champagne and appetizers shaped like geometry problems. Crystal chandeliers scattered light over walls draped in fabric that definitely had a stylist. Martin spotted me, boomed, "There he is, the man of the hour," and clapped my shoulder with a little too much ownership. He never uses my name. I'm Sabrina's husband or buddy, depending on whether he's performing for an audience. After precisely one question that diminished my 8 years as a developer to still doing the technical stuff, he offered to show me around and find me a good spot. That's when the trap revealed itself. We turned a corner, into the dining room, a museum-grade mahogany table set with china that pinged like crystal when you breathed near it. 12 places, each with a gold-edged card, folded napkins that looked like swans, and more forks than any one human could need. And in the corner, a bright blue plastic table the size of a timeout station, flanked by tiny chairs. On top, paper plates with cartoon dinosaurs, no cutlery, no glass. Just my name, calligraphed beautifully, perched on a kiddie island. "Pretty clever, right?" Martin said, enjoying the show. "Only the important guests sit at the main table." For a second, my brain refused the input. Surely this was a prank with a reveal. Then I checked again. No utensils, no napkin, nothing. It wasn't a seat. It was containment. I looked for Sabrina. She was across the room laughing with Clara. Oblivious. Something inside me tightened, then steadied. I asked Martin where the table came from. "Neighbors," he said. "They've got 5-year-old twins." He said it like he was pleased with the logistics. I found my voice. "Clara," I called, and when she swanned over, I gave her an out. "There's a mix-up. That table is for children." She glanced, shrugged, and said, almost bored, "Guess you're not that important." The words were simple. The message was not. I felt heat crawl up my neck. I waited for Sabrina to appear at my side to say, "Absolutely not." Instead, she drifted over slowly, seeing me, seeing the table, seeing what it meant. She whispered, "There has to be a mistake." "There isn't," I said. "Martin called it clever. Clara adopted a tone that could curdle cream. We just thought you might feel more comfortable away from the pressure of formal dining." I stared at the cartoon dinosaurs. Comfortable. No plate. No fork. The plan wasn't just to seat me at the kids' table. It was to make me watch everyone else eat. Something in me snapped into alignment. I picked up my name card, held it high, enough for the room to notice, and tore it in half. The sound was small but decisive. Conversations hiccuped. Even the piano faltered. "If I'm not worth a plate," I said, "I'm not worth your dinner." Clara blanched. Martin looked around for adult supervision. Sabrina whispered my name. "Please don't," as if the real sin were volume, not humiliation. I tucked Clara's bracelet under my arm like evidence, turned toward the door, and left. The drive home was a pressure cooker. Sabrina stared out the window, gathering excuses like kindling. "Couldn't you have just gone along?" she asked finally. "It was just seating." "Seating with no plate," I said. "Seating as message." She winced. "Now everyone will remember your scene instead of her birthday." I didn't answer. At home, I set the bracelet on the counter. It glowed under the kitchen light, pure and unnecessary. At 11 p.m., the texts started. "Clara, I'm sorry you felt uncomfortable. That was never my intention. Let's clear up this misunderstanding. Family is too important." Heart emoji. Then, "You overreacted." Then, "You ruined my birthday." Then Martin, "Buddy, we got off on the wrong foot. Coffee? Let's clear up this misunderstanding." And later, "Your reaction was embarrassing. Think about how your actions affect other people. Gaslighting, but make it luxury." I said nothing. Sabrina came down in pajamas, small and tired. "They're really upset." "Good," I said. "They should be. They're family." "Are they?" I asked. "Because family doesn't plan humiliation." She didn't answer. The silence said enough. A week later, my phone lit with a call from Evelyn, Sabrina's mom. She never calls me. I braced for a lecture. Instead, I got the truth. "I overheard Clara before the party," she said, voice thick with guilt. "She was bragging to Patricia about the seating, said it would keep things less complicated for her important guests. The missing plate was part of it. You weren't supposed to eat until after everyone else if there were leftovers." She paused. "They've been making jokes about you for years. Martin encourages it. I should have stopped it." Her words landed like a verdict I already knew but hadn't wanted confirmed. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was policy. 3 weeks later, the doorbell rang on a Saturday morning. Through the peephole, Clara looked like a cracked statue. I opened the door an inch. "People are asking questions," she blurted. "About the party. Patricia canceled lunch. The Hendersons won't call back. I want to apologize." "For what you did?" I asked. "Or for the consequences?" She started, and that was the answer. I closed the door gently. The bracelet stayed in the drawer. That might have been the end of it, but endings are messy. Sabrina and I circled each other for days, careful and brittle. I kept expecting her to plant a flag. Instead, she tried to patch a dam with index cards. Finally, one night at the kitchen table, I asked, "Whose side are you on?" She stared at the wood grain. "I don't want sides." "Sides already exist," I said. "One of them put me in a corner and took away my plate." She flinched. "I know." I waited. "I should have stopped it," she said at last, voice small. I saw your face. I froze. She looked up. I'm sorry. It wasn't everything, but it was something real. We set ground rules. No more events, where I'm treated like a prop. If Clara or Martin invited us, we declined together. If family came up, we named what happened, not the sanitized version. Clara texted periodically, we miss you. Martin tried the be reasonable route. When that failed, he sent an invitation to a barbecue, to reset. We didn't go. Evelyn called twice more, each time sounding lighter, as if saying the truth had unlocked a window in her chest. You know, she said, Clara's nice to clerks and cruel to relatives. That's not kindness. That's theater. I laughed, the first good laugh in weeks. One evening, Brian, my friend who warned me, came over with takeout. I told him the whole story. He listened, then said, Proud of you, man. Respect is a boundary you either enforce or you never see. Feels dramatic, I said. Dignity always looks dramatic to people who benefit from you having none. After Tsiu. He left. I poured 2 glasses of wine and brought one to Sabrina. To new rules, I said. She clinked my glass. To new rules. Then quieter. To choosing you. We were not magically fixed. Marriage is not a movie montage. But that night we slept with the window open and the air felt different. Cooler, clearer. A month later, we got a group text from Clara. A photo from another dinner. A table groaning with food. The caption, family time. I noticed something small and perfect. Every place had a plate. 12 plates. 12 napkins. 12 glasses. I turned my phone over and let the image face the table.